Hi there folks, and welcome to this week's Spot Solutions for the Daily Rigour issue number 162. So in our first story, our health story, we've got a wee bar graph here that's showing the percentages of patients in a survey who are struggling to reach their GP on the phone. And as you can see, from 2012 up to 2019, it's been steadily, unfortunately, increasing. So the question is, how many more patients struggle to get through to their GP on the phone in 2019 compared to 2012? Well, 2012 there was 770,000 people in the survey, and 19.2% of them were struggling to reach their GP in the phone. So this is like a tricky percentage, which is probably worked out best on the calculator, which means that we find 1% by dividing by 100 and then multiplying that by 19.2, and that gives us 147,840. So for 2019, we just need to do the exact same thing. Same number of people in the survey. We're finding 1% by dividing by 100, but this time we're multiplying by 31.7, and that gives us obviously a wee bit more, 244,090. So how many more, the question asked, which means we take these two numbers away from each other to get a final answer of 96,250 patients. Not good. Although my doctors, you can actually book your appointment online, which I think is definitely going to be the way ahead, I think. Bear in mind how busy these phones get as soon as the clock hits 8 o'clock every morning. So on to our science story. So this is exciting. Area 51. Now, I know you guys with all your programs that you like to watch, but when I was a lad, it was the X-Files, which was an absolutely terrific TV show. So this story is of particular interest to me. So they're going to storm Area 51, 500,000 people, and try and see if they can find these aliens. Now anyway, Area 51 is a square piece of land with an area of 3,969 square miles. So how long is the perimeter that the people are intending to storm? Well, we can work out the perimeter of this square piece of land by adding up all the sides, or rather if you know one side you can just multiply it by 4 because all the sides are the same in a square. So we need to find the length of one of the sides first of all. So normally for a rectangle, if we know the length of one side, we can divide the area by it to get the length of the other side. The problem is we're given the area here and we don't know either side, but that's because the sides are the same. So rather than thinking of the area of a rectangle as length times breadth, you can think of the area as the length squared. So therefore, to get the length, we need to do the opposite to the area, which is square root it. So if we square root the 3,969, we get a length of 63 miles. So to calculate the perimeter, we just add up all the sides, which are 63, 63, 63 and 63. So obviously the quickest way to do that is to multiply by 4. So we've got a perimeter there of 252 miles. So we at the Daily Rigour will be watching that story with a lot of interest, I would say. Okay, so onto our technology story. So 4 children spent a fortune in FIFA by using their father's credit card. Not a good idea here. Anyway, here's his bank statement. How much did the children spend altogether? And we kind of challenge you to find the quickest way to complete the calculation, because obviously we could just add them all up. Probably the quickest way, £31.99. That appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, so we can multiply that by 6. Now we've got our £15.99, and if we have a wee scan down, that appears twice, so we can times that by 2. We've got 120, and I suppose you could put it in as 20.00 if you were doing a sum. And we've got 111.99, and you can check that comes to 10 entries, which it is here. Now anyway, that comes to a whopping £255.91. Throw the PlayStation out the window, that's what I think. Or the Nintendo Wii, should I say. Anyway, on to our last story. So a man arrested at JFK Airport with 34 birds and hair curlers, and what we've got here is they're expected to sell for $3 each for a bird singing competition. So how much money would they have made if he'd sold them all? Well, it's just going to be the 34 birds multiplied by 3,000. So that's going to be, if we were doing it without the calculator, we could do 34 times 3, which is 102, and then add your 3 zeros on at the end. And of course we need our dollar sign because it's money. But obviously if you were just doing it on the calculator, you would get 102,000 in the winner. Now part B, which is worth more, 6 champion birds, because the champion birds are worth $5,000 each, or 10 non-champion birds? Well, 6 champion birds would be 6 times 5,000. 6 times 5 is 30 with 3 zeros would be $30,000. So 10 non-champions, that's going to be 10 times 3,000. Obviously, we could add a zero. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I meant you move everything up one place value. So that comes to $30,000. So which of these is worth more? The answer is they are both worth the same. And there's no reason there, but we have kind of clearly communicated our solution by calculation there. Anyway, folks, that was our word solutions for this week. Hope you got on okay with the questions. Stay tuned for next week's edition when we're going to be looking at more stories for the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.